So obviously you're an Olimar player. Are you? What do you feel what you're really looking to improve upon at the moment with Olimar, or just yourself in general?
Currently with Olmar, specifically, I want to get better at like managing Pikmin because sometimes I'll kind of like get confused on like what lineup will be coming up next. Like, let's say I have like a red, a white, and a purple.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll forget like what the next Pikmin color will be coming out is
Gotcha, gotcha.
like in the heat of battle.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Pigment management is also I did post the room information in the Discord. Do you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to? All right, just want to make sure.
Entering it right now.
No, you're good. You're good. Um, Pigment management is one of those weird topics where there's not a specific way to do it that's just going to like solve it all. It's a very dynamic um concept in that you can use a bunch of different, I guess, tricks, kind of. I don't want to call them tricks so much because for the Olimar player,
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of just a heightened sense of awareness. And I think all Olimar players have that, or it's something they refine over time. Something I like to do is when I'm playing, it's kind of like you're taking little snapshots in your head, right? So you'll be fighting, and I don't need to look at Olimar all the time. I just kind of need to look at him some of the time. Like if I'm hitting my opponent, if I'm comboing them or something like that, or I'm pressing advantage, while in the meantime of me starting that state where I'm controlling whatever, I'll look at my character real quick and I can take like a mental snapshot and be like, all right, I have a purple, purple, red, or something like that, right? And then I already know, and that's just me committing it to memory at that point. Or when I'm playing in a match, like you can kind of think of, do you drive a car?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so you know how when you drive, you kind of allow yourself to almost look at it like a picture frame and you just focus in on the things that you need to when they're in front of you. It's like there'll be like
Okay.
three cars ahead of you, right? And you're not specifically looking at all three cars all the time. But instead you'll look at them when maybe someone's braking or you come up to a light or you're turning, right? And you focus in on that at that moment, but then other times you might be, looking in your mirrors, looking to your left and right, checking your surroundings, right? You're kind of pinpointing in where you need to go.
Okay. Hmm.
When you're in a match like that, it's the same thing. Maybe your opponent is, on the other side of the stage and they're throwing their projectiles or they're playing their game and you're on the other side. So you're going to kind of look back and forth and you're going to try and go for like a broader sense of the game and then just focus in where you need to in each individual thing. So you don't always have to look at Olimar, but instead when you look at it, you'll go, all right, I just looked at Olimar real quick. I got you have my lineup memorized, and then from there on, you go back to what you were doing. You want to clearly acknowledge it, right? When you look at it,
Yeah.
and the better you get, the more you're gonna be able to just like look at it and go, okay, I know what's happening. Um,
Okay.
but when you're really trying to refine that skill and make sure you're catching those details, it's like, okay, red, yellow, blue, white, yellow, blue, something like that, and let yourself acknowledge those things, and then that will also extend to making sure you always know which color is up next, like when you pluck it, right? And you'll still make mistakes. I mean, there's times where I mess up which Pikmin I think is next. I might look and it might be sometimes they'll clump up and you'll mess it up. That's happen. Or you'll forget which Pikmin will come after your next whistle. It's like, but those are something. Just the more you do it, you want to try and commit those things to the memory, and just improve your ability to um like digest the information quickly when you look at it. But it's not something you want to focus on extensively because you need to be able to pay attention to the match.
Okay.
For the first game or two, I definitely want to just try and like focus, so I'm not gonna be
Yeah,
talking too
yeah.
much because
Focus on.
I want to figure out like kind of what your strengths and weaknesses are and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
gotcha.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
so I guess first off, how much experience do you have in um the Olimar Ditto?
Very little experience actually.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely tell that it's like it was a lot of you kind of not standing around, but kind of adjusting and figuring out what the best option to pick was.
Yeah.
The Olimar Ditto is one of those specific things where if you understand how Olimar works as a character, you can do a lot more in it, right? So if you know his smash attacks will always trade with his other ones, like if we both do them, right? Like they're gonna go through each other, they won't clank, right? You
Yeah.
can then go, all right, well maybe we can have smash at the same time, or I can outrange his, or time it better, or something like that. Or you can go, oh, my Nair will clank with his up smash, so I can try and land on him with it if I'm good about the timing. Things like that, or how down tilt's a great poking option. You want to try and exploit your understanding of Olimar's weaknesses to get in on him.
Okay.
So you can go, oh, he's slow here. Oh, he can't do anything. Oh, he can't punish this up smash on shield. His frame data is not good enough. And things like
Okay.
that. And that's going to help you kind of take control of it.
Okay.
Gotta watch those rolls. You don't want to do them too much.
Yeah.
Nice. Definitely better.
Okay.
I feel like you were
Thanks. I
trying.
thought so too.
Yeah, you were definitely, paying attention more like the forward smash. Like I said, you were using that in neutral. That's a really good neutral tool against Olimar because he's so slow that oftentimes
Yeah.
if you space it, like there's not an option he can do to punish it if he's already gone in the defensive, right? Like I can, of course, nair through it or do something to clank with it or smash myself. But if I have to commit to a defensive option if I'm too far away, I have to cut my losses and go, okay, maybe I'll just side B at most, right? And that's a good way to keep him out. You want to try and it's like you want to keep him out and make it hard for him to approach, but then when you change your lineup, maybe you get some purples. Now you can go aggressive because all of my out of shield options aren't that fast. So then you can pressure him because
Yeah. Okay.
his shield pressure is good enough, and you can, as someone who plays Olimar, his disadvantage is very bad. So you have a lot of ways to really punish him with things. Off stage you've got your really good aerials, you've got you got your smash attacks on stage. You've got just so much you can do, because you can also kill him really easy because he's so light.
Nice parry.
Thank you. That was another good example of just how the Pikmin, the fact that delay their hitboxes can do a lot for you.
Yeah.
So, I assume you don't want to do Olimar did this the whole session, because that's a pretty specific type of matchup that you
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
play. So I'm more than happy to go other characters. But I guess to segue into that, what are some characters that you feel you traditionally struggle with? It could either be a type of character, like a zoner, a rushdown, or specific ones.
For just in general,
Yeah.
I struggle against Rushdown
Okay.
because I feel like I can't press buttons fast enough, especially like online. In
Yeah.
like locals, tend to do a little better against them, but especially online,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I can't
Um.
like press
No,
buttons fast
I
enough.
understand exactly what you mean. I think that's because you're probably playing a bit more reactionary. You're noticing I have an opening now, I have an opening now, right? And then you're trying to react to it,
Yeah,
or your timings are a bit more like they have to be perfect in that, and that's understandable for in person. That's how it's going to be a lot of the time. When playing online, it turns into like a game of okay, I can't react to a lot of things because the connection just doesn't support it. So instead, you need to try and understand what they're going to do at certain
yeah,
intervals so then you can predict it. And that's going to help like increase your game sense, which then you can bring into the online or the offline gameplay, and then like mix it together with a reactionary gameplay style, right? So when you're playing online,
yeah.
you want to try and go for more. I don't want to say reads because it's not like you're making these hard reads all the time, even though technically it's more like educated guesses. It's think of like this is an example I like to tell people. Foxes like to dash attack at a very
Yeah.
specific spacing, right? So when you see them in that spacing, you know that that is not guaranteed, of course, but a likely option. So then you can go, all right, well, shield would probably be good here because if he tries to dash attack me, I'll shield it and I'll punish. Or if he tries to nair on me, I'll already be shielding it. So then when you're playing online or even in person, you can go, okay, let me try shielding at that spacing where he's like right outside of my range, right? When he's running, he has high movement, and then he dash attacks, and you go, oh, that was right. He likes to dash attack there. That's a character like wide thing. You know, foxes will of course mix up their timings and all that, but as a fox player, they like to do that. They like to dash attack there. It's such a good option, and they can't do it far away. You know, they're not going to do it when they're up close. So it kind of helps
Okay.
lock that option into a specific spot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I struggle a lot against specifically Fox and Wolf because like I'm always like afraid to like throw or use my smash attacks because
Yeah.
of the reflector.
No, that makes sense. Smash attacks, you can definitely use them. It's just you kind of you shift your neutral to be less reliant on it, I guess, especially if they're a bit trigger happy with those reflectors. But you have tools to stop them before they get on top of you. Like, yeah, when they start hitting your shield, it's a bit tough. But before that, you know, on their way in, you can go, well, you have aerials that can beat them. Down tilt's a great move to stop people on their way in. It can also anti-air. Up tilt's the same. Jab's a solid up close
Okay.
option. You know, you could even do like those smash attacks. If they're running in, they're not always going to reflect, or if they are, then you catch on and punish them, right?
Yeah.
So you can go, well, I have this transcendent aerial, I can forward at them, or you could purple side B them and punish them as they come in, and try and use your own options to bait them into things. Maybe you'll do a side B at a spacing that looks like they'll be able to catch up with a dash attack or an air, but you kind of micro space it in that range where it's like you're pulling back as you do it, and now they committed to something, but since you're doing a side B, it's rather low commitment. And then you're like,
Okay.
okay, maybe now I can get a jab or something, and then you can start a combo. You have to be very proactive with characters like that, because once they're already on top of you, instead of how do I stop them, how do I fight them, it's how do I minimize the chance of me getting caught in disadvantage. Maybe wait till their damage peters out, and then I'll jump out of shield, or I'll roll out of shield, and I'll get away and I'll reset, or you'll pick an option out of shield if they're overcommitting. Nice.
Thank you.
Remember to watch out on those dash grabs, especially with 3 Pikmin. It's so long. Dash grabbing is something that it's a hard habit to break, and I even catch myself doing it when I don't want to. It's a good option. If you land a dash grab, that can make a big difference. But you kind of have to weigh the risk reward of, like, do I want to risk doing something that's maybe, if it's a 3 Pikmin dash grab, it's a 68 first active frame. That's over a second of animation. So you really got to, it's okay to be like, you know what, I shouldn't dash grab here, and just after you mess it up or something, or before set, be like, you got to watch out on the dash grabs. Got to be really, confident that I'm going to land them. Oh, up would have killed there.
I honestly didn't even realize I grabbed that time. Honestly, I thought I missed.
I know, I understand what it is. You do it, and you already get ready to buffer your next option, and then it ends up thrown. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, you got pineapple, yeah. I see what you were meaning, though, about how the rushdown kind of gives you trouble. It's like you, just from the few games we've played, you seem to be a bit more of a slower-paced Olimar, which isn't, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, per se, because playing a more reserved style can work, but Olimar, at least to me, is a character that it pivots between high,
like offense and defense.
Yes, and it's very like sporadic. It's like the opening's there, go, right? Or if it's defensive play, and defensive play can be fast. It doesn't have to mean don't pick options. It could mean retreat with your aerials. Get your fast falls on point, incorporate those pivot grabs, things like that. But constantly keep yourself hard to pin down. So when someone's approaching you like that, when you're practicing, especially in friendlies or whatever it is, try and work on seeing where you're messing up, why they're hitting you, and go, okay, maybe they're hitting me at the 45-degree angle a lot, right? Maybe he's landing on me with like a neutral. They come in from that diagonal. Okay, well, if he's doing that, what can I do? Well, I can pivot grab. If he's overcommitting with that, you could, retreating forward air or back air him, or even up air, depending on how high he's coming from. You could run and up smash him if he doesn't start with it immediately, because they're usually going to fall with their aerials. So that allows you to incorporate some extra options in. And then, at that point, they're probably going to start mixing it up. But that's the natural dynamic of Smash, whether it's that back and forth. But what you tend to do is you'll throw out some Smash attacks, and you'll kind of try and attack, but I don't see you incorporating a lot of the boxing options when you're up close. Not too much down tilt,
Yeah.
not too much jab. Jab is Olimar's safest. It's tied for his safest normal move, right? It's jab 2 is -8 on shield, which isn't that great. But the power of jab is actually, let's say I jab 1 you, and you get ready to punish. You have a 16 frame window or something like that to push for jab 2. So it allows a mix-up on shield where I go jab 1, jab 2. They drop shield, try and punish, they get hit. Now you've gained some, space. You've opened up the potential to press for advantage, and that's going to help a lot. And even if you don't do that mix-up, maybe if you just jab 1, 2 them, not everyone is always ready to punish a jab 1, 2 on shield. It's not as, direct as, an up smash. People can still do it. -8 is not that good, But it's going to allow you a little bit more up close, and that doesn't have to be up smash, especially because, I don't know if you're aware, when Olimar's up smash stales, it loses a lot of safeness.
Okay.
It's -8 with a purple baseline fresh. You do it once, it's now -10. You do it again, it's -11 or 12. And it diminishing returns after some point, but 8 to 10 is a wide gap for one stale Q.
Okay, so how many attacks do you have to land for it to become fresh again?
The stale Q, I don't know off the top of my head. I know it holds up to 10 moves at a time.
Oof. Okay.
So but you're gonna be doing a lot, and there's a couple ways to do it. Pikmin, a side B is a weird move on how it stales. So if it hits them and latches, it stales. That's one stale. Not every time it ticks.
Okay.
But things like jab 1, 2, that's 2 hits. Down tilt, every hit of neutral air, Those multi-hits are really
each
good.
hit of neutral air is...
Actually, I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I think it is.
Okay.
But I know things like pummel. Every time you pummel, let's say you grab someone at 70, get 1 or 2 or 3 of them in, That's 3 things into the stale queue. And you're always throwing out a ton of attacks, so it's helping keep it a bit, things aren't always being locked into. I'd argue the most stale move you're going to have is side B, and that's all right,
Yeah.
But just incorporating more of those jabs. His jab is so good. It's so versatile when it does work that it helps you a lot in getting people off of you.
Okay. All right, got it.
So don't be afraid to I don't want to say just swing all the time, but be confident in your ability to get me off
try
of
to
you.
go in more.
Yeah, you don't want to let me just run over you. Definitely swinging a lot more this game, which is really good.
Oh,
Um,
okay, good.
I mean, you have to keep in mind too. You play Olimar. I'm really good. I play Olimar. I'm really good at the Olimar matchup. At least, when I
Yeah,
play Olimar. So it's like I'm catching on a lot of things that I just know Olimar players like to do. I know the general timing you like, the weight of the waves you like to mix up a lot of the time. So I'm going to catch you a lot of that stuff. But I think you were doing a great job there of being like, I need to swing more. Being proactive.
yeah,
Olimar has like ridiculous hitboxes, and that's something that you really want to push for. And the weaknesses of them often come in either Pikmin being dumb and desyncing or dying, or them not being safe because you have
yeah.
to space them a specific way. But if you can get to them before you're like, if you can put them out when your opponent's there, you just win. Okay, all right, I respect that. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
I noticed something about the way you manage your Pikmin, but I guess I'll bring that up after the match. It's a little bit
Yeah, that's fair.
weird. Don't want to distract you. Nice. Got a little greedy there.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god.
Okay.
That move, if you don't DI it right, the sweet spot on that's crazy.
How do you DI
Wolfbacker?
the yeah Wolfpack air successfully?
I would say in and up. Because you
In
want to
and
go
up.
in,
Okay.
yeah. Because like, are you familiar with like how the difference between like the DI and the LSI is? Launch speed influencer.
Not LSI.
Okay, it used to go by vectoring in early Smash 4. If you're familiar with that term at all, but it might have just been how you were taught to DI. I don't know how they do it now, but it's like, so DI is the traditional. You get hit and you hold perpendicular to that angle. So if you go straight up, you hold to the right and it curves it, right? So you bend your angle so you travel more distance to reach the same point.
Okay.
That's traditional DI. That works in every 360 degrees. Um, LSI is launch speed influencer, and what that is on all angles except like pretty much upwards. There's like a cone of upwards angles that it doesn't work at. So a lot of the horizontal and diagonal ones, if you hold the opposite direction, you will input an opposite force and go less distance. So if I hit you directly to the right, if you held to the left, it would cut that distance.
Okay.
So Wolfbacker in that case, you would want to hold in to counteract that with an opposing force, and then you want to hold up and diagonal, which is like a perpendicular angle to the angle that the back air sends you, to bend it upwards, right? So you're getting the best of both worlds. So you're angling your move, you're angling your trajectory to go upwards, but you're also inputting an opposite force to kind of like double the amount of knockback that it's going to reduce. Like it's reducing the knockback with just the LSI, and then you're also changing the angle, so you have to travel more distance before you die.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I was just holding to the left.
That'll help, but you still want to DI too. It's
Yeah.
like you want to hit that fine balance of like hitting the angle and hitting the LSI thing on it. Not every move is like there are some moves where holding just straight like right or left is fine. Like Olimar up throw is like one of the ones where you want to hold like straight horizontal and then ever so slightly down because like a 92-degree angle on the move normally when it sends up.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
so about the Pikmin management that I was wondering about.
Yeah.
So what colors do you like and don't like or feel like you don't find most use out of? Because I noticed like you were throwing away blues and yellows a lot at the beginning of stocks. I noticed you were keeping reds. What is the thought process behind that?
So I prefer whites and purples.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do like reds and yellows, but I feel like I just don't have like the best visualization of like how far my yellow Pikmin can like go, like
Yeah,
in
yeah. You
terms of
don't
like
have like
spacing.
a good mental image of like how big they are. I understand.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's a little harder for me to use a yellow Pikmin, and they like find an arc when I throw them.
yeah.
So I prefer not to use yellows, which I know is like not super great,
Well,
and it's something I got to work on.
the reason you want to keep yellow is their arc. It does have its uses. One of the ways I like to use them is say I'm recovering from below stage of the ledge. When I'm like, let's say I'm about to double jump, and then grab a ledge or whatever. I'll double jump, but I'll throw my yellow, and since it arcs, it'll ride the wall and actually go up onto the stage, and it can latch onto them. So that's like a really niche
Oh, okay.
use, but it has a lot of. It's niche in the sense that it's very like specific, but it is it's applicable because you're going to be on the ledge a lot, right? You know, you're off stage. That can be a way to save a Pikmin, throw something on him, get a little extra damage, make them, mess up their timings. That's a use of that. Or it's a good way to poke platforms when they're on a platform, side being up there without having to jump. Because it can latch onto the bottom of them. That's a good use for it. As for the visualizing the hitboxes, that's one of the things where you don't, um, that will come with more practice. Using them intentionally and trying to understand how far they can go, or going into training mode and really like playing around with it and going, how far does this hit? How far does this hit? Because those yellow spacings, when you're using your aerials a lot or your forward smash and things like that to really wall someone out, having that extra range can make the world of difference. Because then you can space your moves safer. Plus, yellows are on average like one of the safer moves for most of your things. I don't remember exactly how they compare to purples in every case, but sometimes they're as safe as or slightly less safe. I think for smashes, they're as safe as or almost as safe as, and for aerials, they're slightly less safe. But it's like, they have the extra hit lag and stuff because they're yellow, they're electric, and also that hitbox makes it easier to space things. So, it's one of the things where the more you work on it, the better it's going to get. I think it's just something you got to, put yourself out of that comfort zone to really figure out. Blues, I know a lot of people don't really like them that much. They kind of find them as best saved for, like, the kill throws.
Yeah.
I agree with that in some context, but I think also they do provide solid use at, low percents or mid percents. Because, you can, if you down throw with a blue into a purple fairy, that's 34%. And that's going to hit most of the cast. So, it's different. It's giving you like a different set of ability to rack up damage than, say, something like a red into a purple would. So if you have a blue, it's not bad to have because you can get good damage off it, if you get your throws. And also, even at mid or low percents, if you blue back throw with 3 Pikmin, that's 23% plus stage control.
Okay.
So, I mean, even though you probably want to have it for the kill throw, and there's nothing wrong with not, wanting to always have them at low percent, they have a use, they can make the most out of their bonus, like, attributes, their multipliers, even at those lower percents.
Okay.
Like, I'm personally not the most inclined to use red Pikmin. I find them to be the most niche. It's like, if I want, like, a throw combo, or if I want, like, a worse purple, or, like, fire immunity, I think they're not bad. Olimar doesn't really have any bad Pikmin, but on average, I would rather have a yellow for the range, or combo potential, because they can extend combos because they're hit lag. I would rather have a blue sometimes. And, I change my line. Oh, that was really good. I change my lineup depending on my my opponent all the time. If I'm fighting a Peach, I'm not going to want a blue often unless I'm going for the kill because I just won't grab them a lot. Yellows are really good because of the spacing. If I'm fighting, even a piece I like reds against somewhat, but if I'm fighting someone with a fire move, red's really nice. You can just go straight through PK fire with it. Whites and purples are kind of the most universal, like, good ones. Whites filter themselves, obviously, and then purples are just good at everything.
Okay.
But I think yellows are probably the most versatile in what you can do. So I would definitely recommend.
Okay.
Working on them, and it don't feel like you have to use a certain Pikmin if you don't feel it fits your playstyle. It's like you want to know how to use them all effectively. But every Olimar, if you watch different Olimars, you'll see we all do management differently. We all play with it differently.
Yeah.
And that's the uniqueness and the nice thing about Olimars. You have this almost limitless potential on how you can play him. So do what fits you best. Just try to understand and how to maximize each one when they present themselves. Oh. I'm surprised that down smash didn't hit. Oh wow, I almost love that. There we go.
Okay, so that was correct.
Yeah. You gotta. I do the same thing where they'll reflector and it takes you a second to really realize. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? You don't want to smash because it's a very strong instinct because how good they are for Olimar.
Yeah.
It's like, nope. Let me just pick my option that's not gonna get me killed.
Okay.
We'll try out some different stages. So going into these games, have you been trying to, like, when we first started, I was giving you some advice for managing the Pikmin. Have you been trying to apply any of that, or how have you been feeling on that? Or you feel like you're still kind of a bit weaker in it, like you're struggling to keep up with the Pikmin, or what is your thoughts on that?
During the matches, I felt like a little better with managing the Pikmin themselves.
Yeah.
But utilizing each Pikmin in the correct situation is still something that I'm still trying to figure out and work on, because that's something that's just I feel like I have to get a feel for.
Yeah. Two things real quick. One, do you mind if I switch characters just to give you a bit more variety?
Of course, yeah.
All right. And two, how long have you been playing Olimar?
I've been playing since Brawl, but it was super casually.
Yeah.
And then when Smash 4 came out, I completely dropped the character when this is gonna sound shadow, but when his Pikmin went from 6 to 3, I dropped him.
No, that's totally fine, man. I know a lot of people were really bummed that they made that change, and honestly, you could drop a character for whatever reason you want. You could be like, I don't like how he looks, I don't want to play him. But you're back to him now, and that's cool.
Yeah, I started playing him the last year of Smash 4, just kind of trying to get back into him. Were we changing stage as well, or
I just have mine on Smashville. If you want to put yours on Battlefield or something, we can just get some variety in there.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I haven't really been playing Olimar super serious until Ultimate came out.
Okay.
And even then, I just started going to weekly locals this year.
Oh god, that's flew in my mouth. Oh, okay, that's good because that means you're relatively new to really understanding Olimar on a deeper level, and that means don't feel like you have to have this more robust understanding of the character. Like, it takes time to really refine what you're doing with the character. when I was learning Olimar, because I started playing him back in Brawl in like 2013 competitively, it was very much I don't know what I'm doing, and I kind of made my style my own on how I like to manage my Pikmin. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's a concept that, as a whole, I've really struggled with breaking down entirely. But the best piece of advice I could give is like, play him, play him, play him. The more you play him, the better it gets, because you're gonna get
Yeah.
more creative with him. You're gonna understand more options, and that's just gonna make you overall faster. You know, repetition is your best friend for him, because then you're gonna get faster at managing your Pikmin. You're not gonna have to think about things as much. But I think the best tactic to really improve is what I was saying earlier about how like you can make like the mental snapshots for you and stuff. And
Gotcha.
just when you're playing, how often do you play other characters in like friendlies and stuff? Would you say you do that a lot, or is it a lot of just like straight Olimar?
I have a secondary of Lucas,
Okay.
but other than that, I sometimes play Rob or Game & Watch.
Okay.
But that's mostly for like friendlies or if I'm
Yeah.
just bored.
No, I
Nothing
understand.
serious.
I play a lot of other characters in friendlies when I'm having fun, just chilling. Um, yeah, I would just recommend like the best way to accelerate that rate of Olimar is just when you're practicing in any serious manner, just play a lot of him. Because you need to keep exposing yourself and keep training your mind to be in that like Olimar mode, where you're always thinking, you're always looking to play faster, play better, understand the character, and then a lot of that's going to come down to just like understanding what's safe, what's not, how many up smashes can you do. When I first started playing Ultimate, especially pre-patch up smash, I didn't think about how my up smash affected staling, because I didn't really know it at the time. Even when I first found out about it, because I found out about it pretty early, I was like, oh, I don't really need to worry about it staling that much. My up smash is good. But after the nerf, I was like, okay, I don't have an option. I need to really optimize that. And now when I fight people, I keep track of how stale my up smash is. It's like, oh, I can get one up smash good before they can actually punish, right? And
Okay.
that's something that I had to work on doing. Or when I learned a new tech, like I don't know if you've seen the some of the clips I posted the other day. It was like a lot of the 0 to deaths. There was
Yeah, on Peach's Castle I saw that.
yeah, there was the footstool one, and then some of the other guys labbed it and they were like, oh, this is true. And footstooling combos like that is something I've never done with Olimar in a intentional manner, where it's more than just like an offstage dare to footstool or an onstage. It's never been like up smash footstool, right? So recently I've been wanting to play around with it. I've been learning it, and then it's like I'm bad at it at first, but I'm getting better. Like I almost did it to someone yesterday in bracket, and it's that repetition that helps so much. But it's not like that's a very technical repetitive example, because that's like something you can grind tech skill wise. But the rest of Olimar is like it's all mental repetition. It's developing the heightened sense of awareness, the memory to really go, okay, I have a yellow next, I have this next, I have this next, and then the better you get at that, then you're gonna be able to go, okay, I have yellow, white, purple, and then you're gonna be able to string together a really sick combo out of it, because you're gonna go, okay, I can forward air with a yellow into, or I can like down throw with a yellow into white side B into purple fair, things like that. It's just gonna start flowing. And the best thing you could probably do in the meantime is just start talking yourself through it, making mental notes in your head when you're playing, like, oh, I could have done that there.
Yeah.
It really is just that, I guess, straightforward, because there's not like a super crazy secret to it.
Okay.
So like right there, like I'm down tilting you with Greninja, right? You can fair that if you're quick enough. So it's one of the things like,
Okay.
all right, I might fair you once, or I might down tilt you once, and you're not ready for it. But if I do it again, then you can be like, okay, he down tilted me once, I'm ready for the next one. You don't need to always punish something the first time it happens. If you're not ready for it, you don't want to risk it. But if it's one of those moves that's like really repetitive, they like to do it a lot, then you can kind of adjust yourself for it. I always recommend another good thing is just like I don't know the frame data for every character, right? But I like to learn a lot of
Yeah,
like the important stuff. You know, if I'm fighting a Greninja, I like to know what are some of the moves they use
like
a
dash
lot.
attack.
Like dash attack, can I punish that? Fair, nair, how safe are those? Down tilt, right? Like I know what like frame his jab comes out. I couldn't tell you what frame his up tilt comes out. I don't care what frame his up tilt comes out. You know, like it's nice to know, sure, but I just know that it's unsafe on shield and that it's not his fastest option, right? So I pay attention to like the core stuff, and you can fill in the rest on your own. And that's good because then you'll know like, oh, I can forward air his down tilt, or I can up smash his dash attack. Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't get my counter on time. Nice. That was good. That was good.
Oh, thanks.
So, how have you been doing at your locals? Like generally results? Do you feel like, you improve at a gradual rate, or you're just not as fast as you'd like?
I think I think I'm improving, maybe not as fast as I like, which I'm fine with. And
Yeah.
like any type of improvement is like okay with me.
Yeah.
It's just really hard, like trying to play the game for the first time when a lot of people have been doing this since like Smash 4 and Brawl days.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not gonna like get super great within like a few months,
Yeah.
but hopefully like by the end of the year I can see like substantial amount of growth within
Okay.
my Olimar playstyle.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, I, I don't want to like. That's good to have. You want to strive for that. The thing is, growth is not a linear path. It's not like do this and you get this result, right? It's work hard, and sometimes you might struggle to learn this concept, so it's going to take you longer than the guy next to you, right? And that's
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, I'm just saying in like a broad sense.
Yeah. Olimar's also one of those characters that he's not super straightforward. And you'll learn your own way with him. He plays very differently than pretty much every other character, I'd argue. Like, you just have a different set of fundamentals. Um, so it's one of the things where you just have to, like, keep putting in the work and you'll get it. But you might not notice it. Because, like, a lot of the time, people don't, you won't notice the small bits of improvement on yourself. Especially if you're, like, still struggling or something. You know, maybe you're still getting caught off stage all the time by, like, a Fox player or something. But what you haven't noticed is that you've now started playing neutral a lot better and you're keeping him out. It's just when he gets in on you, you've been struggling. So I think you'll get there.
Okay,
It's
I
just,
gotcha.
yeah, you'll improve in ways that you might not expect because it's hard to always measure exactly what you're better at. Um, but I think you can get there. It's just play him as much as you can in like a serious sense where you're just constantly trying to push yourself. And with him, I would always recommend to newer Olimar players, don't worry about the really technical stuff. Like, let yourself understand how he functions in like a really broad sense first. If you want to worry about like desync stuff or double hit down smash or footstool or wing Pikmin dash or whatever it is, like that's fine. Play around with it, but like don't try and force it into your playstyle if you're not even managing your Pikmin up to your standards.
Okay, I gotcha.
Because you need to be like extremely fluid with him if you're gonna even start about like thinking like, oh, I'll put my Pikmin up here and do this when I pluck it. Because if you have to think what Pikmin's next a lot, or like you're slow on it, then you're not even gonna be able to realistically do those other things in a timely manner. Because it's gonna take like a lot of processing power from yourself.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we got about 10 minutes left. Was there any character you wanted me to end on, or I could play?
Um, could you do Zelda? Actually, I struggle with
Yes,
that
I
character.
can. A lot of people don't like fighting Zelda, especially Olimar players. Um, it's one of the matchups.
I'm always I'm usually always good until I like try to challenge Neutral B.
So neutral B is one that you don't want to challenge head on a lot of the time, but instead you kind of let them do. and then you just punish them with like
Yeah.
a grab or a back air or a forward air. Zelda is a character that you don't set the pace of the match as much as you want to. It's if you do, it's going to be in spurts because neutral B, even down B, they make it so hard to get in on average and stay in. You don't get to go, I want to play aggressive all the time. It's sit back, bide your time, find your openings. You know, like they want to throw a phantom, you get your side B damage. You know, because you can't go aggro with things like neutral B, up B out of shield. So you just play it safe. Like I don't think there's a losing matchup. I think it's an annoying matchup. Oh, oops. But I don't think Olimar loses. I think you just have to be very patient and kind of wait for things to happen. You know, coerce her into where you want. Because, like, as much as you can't approach Zelda, she can't approach you. She doesn't have, like, super strong approach options if you're really good about what you're doing.
Uh,
So, like, right there, I paid attention to our spacing, and I was like, okay, he has a yellow. Very unlikely he's going to grab. Probably going to smash attack. I'll go for Neighbor's Love. And if he fares, I might be able to catch him, you know? It was like a... kind of like what I was saying with Fox earlier. I was paying attention to you and how you wanted to do things. So, you know, you have to get creative on what you do. You got to go, okay, this seems like the obvious option. Maybe I shouldn't do it at this point. Or maybe I should play it patient, right? Maybe wait first, see if they whiff, see if they act first. Dash grabbing can be really risky against that because the hitbox is so big and Olimar's is so bad now. That
yeah.
instead of dash grabbing, it's a lot of like, you know, let me have them commit first. It's like, you need to have them act first, and then you kind of find your time there. And if you're not comfortable with grabbing, especially with one Pikmin because the range isn't that good, just, you know, throw out a forward air. It doesn't need to be a super big punish or anything a lot of the time.
That was by accident.
I figured as much. I was like, alright, cool, I don't die. Like you see there, you thought you could punish me, but I was like, with your spacing, you probably can't, so I'm just going to go for this. And I punish your aggression.
Okay.
Oop, a little too slow there. But yeah, we'll get another game or two in. Just, it's okay to bide your time. Those aerials are super good. They don't reflect. They're transcendent. You know, they can get decent range on them. They hit hard. You know, they're some of your lowest commitment options out there, especially when compared to something like a grab, right? You know, dash grab is bad in a lot of ways. Like, it's got some good uses, but the lag on it, the way Olimar runs forward and puts his finger out, which is a hurt box, it makes him easy
Yeah,
to clip.
like
As
I use it, I like realize like, yeah,
it's
not
a high
super
risk,
great.
it's a high risk, high reward option a lot of the time.
So would you say like standing grab is better
Honestly, it can be in some cases, yeah.
in like a in
And like to punish
Okay.
that, I would say yeah, standing grab probably better. Like if you want to dash grab, just make sure you're doing it towards the end of the move because that move lasts a while, but it has lag. you're unsure of what to do and you don't want to risk on a reflector, just go for a neutral air out of shield. It's faster in the up smash too. Neutral air out of shield is really nice because you rise with it and it hits everywhere on you. Multi-hit, so it's nice for catching people. You know, it's your fastest out of shield option tied with forward air, but forward air's got that arc, it's got the dead spot, the dead zone. So you don't always want to risk it. And that's alright. And like up smash out of shield isn't a bad option. It's just sometimes if you're not sure, or if maybe you just learned real quick, like, oh, up smash is not the option there, then you can go for something like a nair. There you go.
Okay. I also struggle with like mashing, but
You use GameCube controller, correct?
yeah, GameCube.
Have you seen the Beefy Smash Dudes video on how to mash?
I have not.
I could link it to you after this session if you want. They go over two methods. There's the analog stick method and the button method.
Okay.
And they'll kind of break it down for you. I think it's the same. It was a Smash 4 video, but the same concept applies.
Okay.
I do it on Pro Controller, so the optimal way to do it on Pro Controller is I hit all four of my shoulder buttons. But yeah, I'll send you that, and that could probably give you the best way to do it. And it's something that you're gonna have to practice. Getting the amount of fast inputs down is not easy, and it takes a lot of like muscle memory and practice. But I think that video is gonna help you find out which method you like more, the analog stick one or the button one.
Okay.
See? You just wait and you punish. And like I'm obviously not as good as like a actual dedicated Zelda player with the character, but it's a lot of the same principles I use when I fight them, and that helps me a ton.
Okay. I tried to jump.
Oh, thought it would work. Oh, nice. Good use of the yellow there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when you first like come back from losing a stock, like getting all the Pikmin, is it how do you like consistently not like have your Pikmin desync in situations? Because I'm not sure if it actually desynced, but it felt like my Pikmin weren't fully like with me as soon as I came back.
It depends on where you do it, right? If you do it around platforms, they have the possibility to desync on that. If you like let's say you're under a platform, like on Battlefield, right? And you pluck them, there's the chance they can desync there, like on the platform. So you have to do something to get them down. Or if you pluck them on top of a platform and then they drop down, they can sometimes desync that way. But when you pluck, Pikmin have that travel time when they come out of the ground. You can act them immediately, but after a certain point in time, they have to finish their animation. So oftentimes when you pluck, the first two, depending on how fast you go or what happens, or if you're too fast, they might be in their animation. Oftentimes movement will sync them back up, so maybe I'll pluck, and then move. Maybe I'll short hop or dash or something, get them back in line. Or maybe or I'll pluck one and then I'll attack. It's kind of varies constantly, but movement is always the best way I found to resync them up, aside from Whistle. But Whistle has its own set of issues. But like movement can very much keep them in line because when they desync, it's always either based on like movement, either Olimar moved too fast because he got hit or something, or there was a ledge and/or platform. There's like a stage element in the way.
Okay.
And that's another thing that the more you play Olimar, the more you'll notice like, oh, a Pikmin will desync if I do it this way. But on average, like if you dash back and forth or if you jump, they'll usually come with you. And if you're ever unsure, you could always whistle. But that's why dropping down from platform, plucking, and then going for like a jab or going for a down tilt is always really nice because you don't have to worry about Pikmin being dumb if you're unsure.
Okay. Okay. I guess I got only one more question.
Sure.
Whenever I like watch a set of yours, I see like or like any Olimar, I see you guys use up air to switch which Pikmin you have instead of like using the whistle. Is there a reason that you do that?
So for me, I like to do it, and I think this reason most Olimars do it is it's your fastest aerial in terms of animation. Like it's like the easiest to short hop auto cancel. Because how the
Okay.
animation works. Like it flows perfectly, so you can cycle one Pikmin at a time. And you can do it while you're moving. So it's very seamless to do. It does it a nice hitbox above you. And for me personally, I can't speak of the other Olimars. I don't like the whistle because whistle is a weird move. Like there's a lot of weird properties to how it organizes Pikmin, but even more, sometimes I want to save my whistle, right? Maybe I want to save it because I know I have a purple coming up next if I whistle, right? And I want to
Okay. Yeah.
keep it there to get my purple immediately. And I don't need to short hop whistle when I can short hop up air. Or, and the nice
Okay.
thing too about short hop up airing is you can short hop up air and then immediately fair after. Because you do the rising up air, then you
Gotcha.
fair.
Gotcha.
So on average, I would say it's just the easiest and most seamless way to do it. If you get really good with Olimar, like you can, have you seen the attack cancel stuff with him? If you attack cancel,
I have.
yeah, you can swap your Pikmin. That's an advanced way to do it, but I think no Olimar has actually put that into practical application at a high level of gameplay.
Okay.
That's a much more fancy one, but I think the up air is just the most. It was the same in Smash 4. It's just the most convenient, seamless way to do it. You don't have to worry about your whistle being dumb, or what if you have a Pikmin latched onto someone you don't want it back? You just go for the up air.
Yeah.
So it's
Gotcha.
just it gives you direct control of the next Pikmin in line.
Okay. I'm gonna have to start doing that
Yeah, definitely
because
something worth
sometimes when I
incorporating.
do whistle, I feel like it just skips over a Pikmin.
Yeah, have you seen the video that explains how whistle works?
I have not actually.
All right, I'll send you that as well. I'll send you that in the Beefy Smash Dudes because whistle is a weird move.
Okay.
And that video could probably explain it better than me.
Okay.
But it'll explain why it feels like it skips Pikmin or it'll jump around or it's a dumb move. But no, I'll send it your
Okay.
way. But yeah, I'll get you the stuff in a couple days and all that. If you have any questions, feel free to always shoot me a question if you have something. And looking forward to seeing you improve and things like that. I think you're at the point where Olimar, first and foremost, takes a lot of practice. And it's not tech
Yeah.
skill that you grind out in training mode, it's that skill set that you develop mentally.
Yeah.
But I think you'll
Okay.
get there. Just, keep working at it. Don't get discouraged. I know sometimes they can be really depressing to play Olimar when something stupid happens. But
Yeah.
when you stick with him, you're gonna see the benefits of it, and I promise you it's gonna pay off.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, thank you. If you ever want to get another lesson or anything, just hit me up in the future and we get something worked out. All right.
All right. Thank you again.
All right,
Definitely
man.
will.
Awesome, awesome. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Take care.